The current art scene in Plain City, I think there's a lot of people that want to do arts and there's a lot of talent in Plain City. I wouldn't say that there's a lot of opportunity for it. And I think right now we're at the cusp of those opportunities opening up, and that's very exciting. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that it's getting better and bigger. There's definitely an audience for it and a group for it, but it is just being catered to now.
My first question is, how did Alt Camp start and when?
What a great question.
Oh, I know this.
You know this answer. So I did a lot of work with Old 42 Grub House when it was still there in Plain City where the granary is now. I did all their murals when they first opened, which is ages ago actually now. And the owner, Jeff Cosgrove, and I had a really good working relationship. I did like canvas parties there, birthday parties. And then in the summertime, I would do kids' art afternoons, what they were called. They were like 90 minutes long, and they did a short little project and got a pizza and a drink. And from there, Janel and I talked about doing an art camp. And the first time we did it in Old 42 Grub House.
I think we were there for 2 years there.
Yeah.
In the back of the Grub House in that little tiny room. And then we kind of thought, oh, like if we did this at the school in this art room, we could have more people and more supplies and
access to the sinks,
kind of
the bathrooms.
The Grub House out of it.
Yeah.
So we just kind of turned it into our thing.
Have you noticed like participation changing after COVID? Like less people, more people?
I think more.
Especially this year.
Yeah, I think people are hungry for something to do.
Yeah, they want something to do.
Yeah.
We opened up the registration and we sold out the morning group in like 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was
28 spots were gone in 24 hours.
So now we can have 28 kids and they were gone in 24 hours. So then we opened up week 2 and that's gone. That was sold out too.
Yeah.
What are the key achievements you have made in advancing the arts?
Well, for one, is the PC Trinity Theater Company. Started 3 years ago, so that's been a big thing that I've been trying to grow with my friends, and I feel like that's probably the largest achievement so far.
What are the biggest challenges you have faced?
Biggest challenges have probably been financially. It takes a lot of money to do anything that we do, and we don't have a lot of money, so definitely trying to increase the budget and also attention. Getting people's attention is a big thing, because even if there's people there, you need to get their attention in order to do something. So probably finances and attention.
What's been your favorite part of like the whole theater company so far?
That is a tough question. Wow. I would say my favorite part, I have multiple favorite parts. I think first thing that comes to mind is being able to work with the people that I did arts with when I was a student. Being able to work with them on this has been great. But I think my favorite part overall is probably just being able to see an artist and see a potential in them, and then working with them and seeing like the spark click in them when we work on them on a show, and just have that realization happen, because even if they don't verbalize it, you can see it, and then they're starting to have fun, and it's working out really well, and they're looking really good at it, and it's just having that spark and that transition from maybe lack of confidence or being unsure to having confidence and really keying into all of their talents. Seeing that development in them is fantastic. It really is.
Pues yo creo que yo puse el estudio en Plain City y porque yo decidí vivir aquí en Plain City, y pues realmente pues nadie me conocía, porque pues yo estoy llegando de otro país y ha sido un proceso difícil. Ya después de 5 años pues ya ha empezado a venir un poco más la gente del pueblo, y lo otro es que el estudio ofrece una asignatura que es flamenco, y es difícil para las personas porque no saben qué es flamenco o clásico español.
She's been here for about 5 years, And she opened a studio here in Plain City because she was moving to Plain City. So she thought she would have a studio by her home. It's been difficult, even though she's been here 5 years, it's been difficult to build a population of students, partly because she's offering flamenco, and many people in the community don't even know what flamenco is. So she's struggling. However, people are coming, and they'll come. We'll just keep working and plugging along here to increase the student population.
Y otra asignatura que también ofrezco es ballet, y yo creo que hay mucho que trabajar todavía en enseñarle a la gente del área qué es el ballet.
The other signature type of class that she offers is ballet, but she's not offering cute ballet. She's offering a very strong foundation of what ballet really is. And unfortunately, people don't know what that is. So she's still in the process to teach people what real ballet is, that commitment also. She was a dancer in Cuba. And so she's got this strong foundation from Russian instructors as well. And that's what she wants to bring to Plain City, to the students that she has.
What prompted you to form the Plain City Community Singers?
Oh, the lack of music for the last year and a half in my life. And I had thought about starting a choir earlier, but just hadn't done it. When we couldn't sing for a year because of COVID and people couldn't hear music, I just thought, okay, I have to try. I have to try now. And so I did.
Were you surprised with the turnout of the choir?
I was shocked. In my head, I put a request on Facebook. Anybody want to sing again? Community choir. I was praying that I would get 10 to 12 people. And I think the first night we had 32. And what I was really excited about, I knew I might see some parents of former students because they had told me before that they were interested. But I also got former students from a number of years back. I got friends of friends. I got parents and their parents, and which is what a community choir is about. It's about sharing, singing together, and so I was really, really excited about that.
What is the Arts Council?
So the Arts Council came into one of my goals for 2021 because I saw a strong support for our area athletics, but knowing some of our businesses and different interests of the residents, it kind of piqued my interest to start coming up with something of an art council to bring more awareness to all that we have to offer. And it kind of started with Buckeye Brass and Winds. I think that's such a unique business that is here, right here in our own town, that we could connect with. And then discussing some of Mr. Phillips's goals for what he would like to accomplish with his business. It started the ball rolling of reaching out to other members of the community to kind of come together and how can we strengthen awareness of the arts in our town. And so that's kind of how the Art Council started. It's not necessarily a formal council, but our goal for this coming year was to just bring more awareness to different events. And Mrs. Ann Gorman, who was a former music educator at Jonathan Alder, she had reached out with the interest of it because I published my goals for the year in like our year in review newsletter that came out in like February, and I said I would like to start an arts council. So just even putting that out there to community members brought Mr. Rodriguez with Plain State Trinity Theater Group together, and so the four of us met at Buckeye Brass and Winds. So Mr. Phillips, who owns Buckeye Brass and Winds, and Mrs. Gorman and Mr. Rodriguez, we came together and said, okay, what are some of our events that we would like to see more arts be involved with? So one of the items that Mr. Rodriguez came about was he would like to do plays at the park and how can he get that set up? How can we go about? So just connecting people is kind of the main focus this year of that Plain City Arts Council launch.
My next question is, what makes the arts important to you?
Well, I think from my position in the education field, like I feel like my job is to like hook the kids on art, like teach them to love it, even if they aren't going to grow up being an artist or even in the art field at all. Just have an appreciation for it and to kind of get them interested in like seeing community artwork and being involved in the community arts and wanting to go to a museum to see work and just like I feel like my job is to hook them, like to get them to take the bait and like
Foster their love.
And like get them to like I always say I'm not trying to make a Picasso.
No.
Or train Picasso.
To me, like the arts are like soul fulfilling, and it's what makes me like want to get up in the morning and live and breathe, you know. And my kids are the same way. That's, you know, we have a very artistic family. I can't imagine not doing it.
Well, my whole life, I've been a singer since I was a little girl. I sang in church choir when I was a little kid and grew up, and I directed children's choirs and adult choirs at church, and of course I got my teaching degree, and I've taught all levels from preschool through college into senior citizens, and singing is part of who I am. It's part of what makes me me, and music and melody is the other part of what makes me the best person that I can be. When that was missing, I just wasn't as nice.
Bailar ha sido todo. Bueno, yo vengo de un país pequeño, de una isla, donde el ballet y la danza es muy importante, en general las artes, y yo bailo desde que soy muy pequeña, y para mí siempre digo que bailar, en este caso flamenco, y enseñar es como respirar.
For her, dancing is like breathing. She's been dancing ballet since she was very young in Cuba, and it's just her second nature, breathing.
The arts are where I kind of found myself personally. I have always been an arts kid. I used to do sports and all, but when I found arts, I found something that it made me feel different than I've ever felt before. It just the community around it, the group of people that you work with, on top of the just the creative aspect. It's just so much fun and exciting, and I truly love it.
What do you think the future of the arts in Plain City looks like?
I think it's a great collaborative initiative. We have some people that have brought about visual arts and talking about how can we increase the visual arts in town, whether it's through like if there's any vacant buildings and putting artwork up. So I think the excitement is rolling and will continue to increase with people wanting to get involved, and just identifying those key players will be, I think, a big feat for the rest of 2021 and into 2022 as we look at what other events are we hosting and how can we make Plain City that destination that people want to come out to listen to live music, see different art exhibits, and just showcase what makes us unique.
What are your future plans for the community singers?
Well, we're going to sing on Labor Day weekend in the park. Pastime Park has a weekly Music in the Park series, and we're going to sing that. We sang on 4th of July, and obviously we hope to sing during the holiday season. We'd love to do a concert in here. We've got an organ. We've got, we'd love to do a full Christmas concert during the holiday season, one night of the week or something. So we're kind of formulating ideas about that. And really, I dream big, so I have like all kinds of thoughts, but it can't be just my thought. It has to be the choir. Yeah, we want to try this. Maybe we want to travel. Maybe we want to do some kind of a little show or some kind of thing like that. We can't do it unless I know that I have them behind me.
Bueno, el plan es continuar tratando pues de crecer, de ofrecer nuevas cosas, pues el estudio ahora este año es abierto para clases de jazz, para clases de zumba y otras asignaturas tal vez un poco más atractivas y bueno, mi interés es continuar.
Well, she's definitely interested in continuing, even though the numbers are low. She's not going to give up. She's going to continue to offer things to encourage people to come out to the studio. This is the only dance studio in Plain City. So her hope is that people are going to come out and she will continue to offer things that will be of interest to them. Right now she's offering jazz and she's offering Zumba for adults. So anything's possible. The thing is she's not going to give up.
What are your future plans in the arts?
Oh.
Like, will this continue next
We
year?
just had this conversation.
No, right? Yeah.
Are you ready to divulge this on
Well,
camera?
right after this.
Like
Gonna
at
sell my house.
5:30?
Well, my youngest just graduated from high school, so I'm kind of in a flux situation right now as far as the arts are concerned. But I can see myself, even if I leave the area, if I move somewhere like warm and sunny, I can see myself not ever losing touch with Janel and like coming back here to do things like this, you know?
Yeah, I hope to continue the camp. Like,
Yes.
you know, I was hoping you could come back even
Yeah.
if you move, and if you don't, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get someone else. Like,
Yeah.
people love it, and people ask every
They look
year.
forward to
like,
it.
are you doing camp? When's
Yeah.
the camp? Like, sign me up. So, I don't want to stop doing
No,
it.
no.
We're gonna find a way to make
Yeah,
it
we will.
keep going.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, people, they want to do it. And
Yeah.
you start getting asked, see, not so much me, you're in the school.
Yeah.
So kids will start asking her like in December,
Yeah.
like, are you new to our camp? You know,
Yeah.
when's the sign up coming?
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah,
great.
it's
And they
been
remember
popular.
things, like I'll teach something in class and I'll kids, oh, we did this in camp, or,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, I did this when I was in kindergarten and camp, like they
Mhm.
remember.
And a lot of these kids have done it every year.
Yeah.
So like Morgan that was in this
And
group.
Lainey,
Yeah.
yeah.
They've been in it since kindergarten, which
Wow.
is wild. Now they're in the older
Yeah.
kids
And
group.
one of them today said, now how long can I do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Future plans are being able to offer opportunities to people of all ages rather than just middle school or high school. Definitely our next steps are going to be allowing adults to be a part of it and focusing on them as well as the students.
What would you say to someone who is considering participating in the arts?
I would say do it. Whatever they love about the arts, whatever they want to do in the arts, they should do and try. Whether it's something they're going to ever do for their livelihood, no, that doesn't matter. What matters is if it makes them happy and brings them joy, they should do it, they should try it. They should not be afraid to jump into something that they haven't done before, because you find out things that you can do that you didn't even know you could do. And it fills holes in your life. It makes you a better, broader, more interesting person. You get more experiences. You get to meet more people. You get to do more things. And you get to see more things and share your experiences with others.
Yo creo que si un niño quiere empezar a bailar, no sé, pues yo diría que lo primero es tener un poco de querer hacerlo, lo primero, ¿no? O los adultos también querer hacerlo, y lo segundo es que pues a veces es difícil de explicarle a los niños que la danza lleva muchas repeticiones, y entonces le diría que disfrutara más como el camino de bailar y que no importa repetir, como les digo a mis niñas siempre, no importa repetir cuántas veces, sino que lo disfrutemos más, y mientras más repitamos se logra mejores técnicas, y le digo a la gente que hoy en día que disfruten más, que se diviertan.
What she would tell anyone who wants to learn how to dance is to have fun, to enjoy the journey, and just have fun. And if you stick it out and give your best, the name of her studio is You Will Dance. And there's a reason why she chose that name. because you will dance, but you have to do your part. But she wants people, children, adults to enjoy what they're learning and not to give up so that you will dance.
Buen punto, gracias, muy buen punto. Good point, you will dance, yes.
I would say if you are considering going into the arts, definitely be prepared to have a lot of differing opinions with people, but to not get discouraged and to know who you are and what you're doing and have that confidence in you to continue pushing forward, because there's going to be pitfalls, but as long as you keep pushing forward, no one's going to stop you. So
my last question is, what would you say to someone who's considering going into alt? Always hesitating.
Marry someone who's helpful. That is your key. Now, what would I say? I think this is what I've told my kids, because the arts can be very hard. You're going to hear no a lot. You're going to get a lot of rejection, and then you'll get that one yes, and that'll like sustain you for the next few no's. It is not an easy path, and you have to have a little bit of thick skin. I think the most important thing is to try to stay positive, and say, oh, that was a setback, but I'll go on to the next thing and hopefully be successful.
I say for me, like a little bit different path. I would say be realistic in kind of what she's saying, like have a realistic train of thought of like, it's not always going to be easy, it's not always going to be fun, it's going to be hard work.
People think you sit around and just draw all day, and it's like how do you enjoy?
Have a plan
Not
of
always.
like, okay, if it's like, how are you going to make the money? Because let's face it, you're going to have to pay your rent or your mortgage. Like, so have a plan. Like, if that, while I'm working on my art, what am I going to do to pay my rent, to pay my bills, if you don't have a rich husband or,
Exactly.
The other thing I always tell my kids is there's lots of things you can do with the arts.
Yep.
Like, saying I want to be an artist means a lot of different things. There's a lot of different paths you can take, from graphic design to visual artist to theater to commercial art to working in a business in their marketing department, logo design.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of paths they can go, interior design, things like that there don't have to be like
Industrial design.
Yeah.
Cars.
Like, we talk about that a lot with the kids of like, I have a lot of kids who are like, I love art, but I'm just not good at painting. I'm like, and that's when we train. Okay, there's lots of things you can do though, like loving art. You can work in a museum, and you can be a curator. Set up shows, or like there's lots of paths you can take, and I stress that, and also just be realistic, but don't give up.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Is that it? Yeah. Boom. And